Can we talk for a minute about our Integrating Heart and Mind workshop?
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's coming up in the fall of 2024.
I'm so excited. We changed the format to make it more accessible to people with like work schedules and personal schedules. And so this time we're going to do it 3 hours on a Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at, and 5 hours on Saturday for 2 different weeks in September.
Yeah, it's so great. Like if you're finding yourself stuck in like sticky bad patterns or having communication issues or something like that, or if you want to just like get closer and trust yourself or your partner more, this is the workshop for you.
Yeah, and individuals are welcome, couples are welcome. If you're interested in really thinking through how to serve yourself well inside of your relationships, then we've built a workshop that will support you in finding the ways that are just right for you.
To sign up, head over to our website at whydoesmypartner.com/events.
We hope you'll join us.
Welcome to the Why Doesn't My Partner podcast. I'm Jules.
I'm Vickey.
And I'm Rebecca. We're your hosts. We're also couples therapists and messy humans bumbling through our own relationships every day.
We met through our training and practice of relational life therapy. Between us, we have more than 40 years of experience holding hard relational questions with our clients. We're going to bring those questions here.
And together, we're going to take a stab at answering those questions. This podcast is not a substitute for therapy. If something you hear in this episode stirs something deep within you about your relationship, reach out to a couples therapist in your area.
We also love to hear your questions, so don't forget to go over to whydoesmypartner.com and leave us a question of your own. Here's today's question. Why does my partner interpret every time, okay, not every time, I disagree as criticism of him on a more personal level? It can be regarding how we parent our daughter or disagreeing on how to logistically pull off the events of the day. If I tell him that I think it's better to do it a different way, even if he sees my point, he feels like I've dismissed him.
Ooh,
So
I see a thought.
Well, I'm surprised because Jules always jumps in with like, I love this question. And I always jump in with like, Haram, I feel so bad for this person. And Jules did that for me this time. I was like, that's not your role, Jules. But it does break my heart. I have compassion and because he has no protective boundary.
Oh, say more about that. Tell us what we mean when we say protective boundary.
And I'm even going to go a step further and say that Jules calls this the psychological boundary.
Yeah, I do.
And I call it the protective boundary, and they're the same thing.
And I call it the listening boundary.
Oh, thank you. I did not know that.
We have 3 different
We've
names.
had that conversation a few seasons ago, but that's okay.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah. I don't remember that. Which fits for what I'm about to say. So this boundary is, and I do it with signals, is the space between what I hear and what I absorb. So if it doesn't fit, if it's not about me or I don't agree with it, I don't have to absorb it. And this was life-changing for me. I used to absorb everything. And then I heard this and I went, oh, I don't have to absorb everything. And now I don't absorb everything. I have a little white picket fence. Of course I do, by the way. Of course, it's a white picket fence that comes up around me. And I don't have to absorb everything that comes at me anymore, like my lovely husband's sarcasm. So,
Yeah.
not everything is personal.
No,
I mean, that takes work,
totally.
by the way. That was not an overnight thing.
You're answering that question then for the partner who's hearing the criticism and feeling dismissed.
Yes.
Right? That's who you're answering that question for. Okay.
Yes.
Well, and what I'm hearing is it's not even a criticism that's being said in the question, and may or may not be, but it's actually
it's a disagreement. It's being heard as a critique or a right? So that
because Jules taught me this, that boundaries, I'll be really general, but boundaries by definition are you and I disagreeing does not make me unsafe.
Right.
And
so my guess is
Vickey, say it again.
You and I disagreeing does not make me unsafe.
Exactly. So my guess is your partner is actually feeling threatened in some way. Now, he or she may not, they may not know that they're feeling unsafe. They may register it more as agitation or anger, or frustration. But probably what's going on underneath that frustration is a lack of safety, if indeed you are not being hypercritical. Right.
You know what's coming up for me as I'm looking at this question? And I think this is, I'm going to need a little help with this because I feel like it's a bit of my therapist hat that's on and not my how would I be in partnership kind of hat. And I want some help with that because I'm thinking about our listeners who are listening and thinking about how could they apply this in their life that's not too therapist-y. So that's the part where I'm kind of asking the two of you for some help. But as I hear this question, right? And I'm looking at it like here in front of me, right? So when I disagree with my partner, he hears it as this critique on this really personal level, especially when it's things like how we're parenting our daughter or the logistics of every day. If I tell him I think this is a better way to do something, he feels dismissed. Right? So I'm hearing this and like there's a part of me that wants to say to the person who's asking the question, right? I wonder how old your partner's feeling right now. And I'm curious if there's something about the way that you're sharing this feedback with him, the way that you're disagreeing with him, that might be instigating that feeling of that age.
So yeah, right? So there's a tone check, there's like an attitude check that's worthwhile doing in this situation because it could be that, not that you can control how he's feeling, you cannot, that's not how feelings work, but you can definitely influence the space between you where it's likely to provoke a little bit of reactivity. Like a couple episodes ago, Vickey and I were playing and I was being really curious and really staying in this like very calm space. And it was hard for you to stay mad. It was hard for you to escalate. Why? Because I'm influencing the space by how I'm adding to the space emotionally. Yeah. So I can't control whether or not you're mad or not mad, but I do have a remarkable influence. So
that's right.
So it could be that you could U-turn and like look at your influence. And I get wanting to say it in not a therapist-y way. So it's like, is there anything in like the secret hope in my brain about how this goes that's I'm managing him or judging him?
That's right.
If I'm managing or judging him while I say this, if I manage, I don't know if it's actually a guy. Did we say it was a guy? I can't remember. Anyway, so
the partner is a guy, but I don't know who the person asking is.
So if I'm saying like, oh, well, to him, like, I really need to get him to do it my way, then I may be saying it, even though I'm saying really kind words, I actually may be saying it with a little bit of like, excuse my French, assholery. So check that. But then the other question I have, and this is like a meta conversation question. So this would not be done in the moment. Remember, our meta conversations are done when everything is chill. I love Rebecca's way. She adds seeds. Hey, I'd like to talk to you about something a little tender. Can you tell me sometime the next week when that may be a good fit for us? Right? So we could lay seeds. We could say, oh, let's have a meta conversation. And here's how I would go with the meta conversation about this. And you'll hear in the way I'm asking this question is I'm making a guess. And so I may even say that. So there are these interactions we have, and I'm making a guess about them, love. I wonder if it's possible for us to disagree about what to do, like with the kid or with like logistics or something, for us to disagree and you still really get how much you matter to me.
Oh, that's nice.
So I made a guess there that what my partner's actually experiencing is that when I disagree, he's taking it in as you don't care about me. My opinion does not matter to you. What I want does not matter to you.
And that's the lead.
Me. And that's me.
Right. And that's the leap. I'm making a leap. I'm making a leap. I'm making a guess. I don't know that that's accurate, but that's when you're saying, why does my partner do this? I'm making a leap. That one possibility is the way your partner knows that they matter to people is when people agree with them.
And like mine is, I had to realize he's not allowed to disagree with me because my voice has no value anyway. So if he disagrees with me, he's confirming that my voice has no value.
Right. So we want that meta conversation ultimately to lead to a space wherein we can create a way for me to disagree with you and you not take it like it's bad.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going back to like, I keep doing this and there must be something in here. There's a reason I keep going back. I keep going back to how old does your partner feel? And now I'm going back to how old does your partner feel? And I'm thinking about it like, okay, where did they learn that disagreement equaled dismissing?
Right.
Right.
Totally.
Like, so there's some kind of learning in here that like, if I don't agree with you, then we're not connected. Cause that's really what, if I feel dismissed, I feel disconnected. Right. So if I'm disagreeing with you, we're out of connection.
Yeah. And how is it possible for us to disagree? Because really where we're going with this is an adult relationship. We could disagree and stay connected because there's nothing unsafe about disagreement.
Well, it's except for when we're little kiddos, right? And when disagreement
which is why you keep going
disconnection,
to the
it
age
feels
thing.
really unsafe. Right. And so my early lessons then for this dear partner is they must have felt really unsafe whenever there was disagreement around them. And can you, the person who's asking this question, get curious about that hurt part of your partner?
Right. Totally.
Can you hold, like, can you figure out how old that is so you can hold it a little bit? I'm not saying do all their work for them.
No, you can.
Right. But can you be curious about it? Because that also, here's what I find when I can like conjure up an image of like the ways in which my partner has experienced pain or hurt. I can hold that part of my partner with more compassion. And that helps me in the tender moments between us. Because then when they feel dismissed, I'm not rushing to defend myself. I'm going, oh, I know which part of you that is. I can pay attention.
And that didn't happen overnight.
No.
Because we say things pretty.
Did that emphasize how long it took?
Easily or simply here. And like, it's. This takes time and it's work.
It's so much work. It's so much work. But this may be like several meta conversations where
over years and years.
Over years. Yeah, that's totally possible. Where we are establishing ways for you to still feel connected to me while we are in disagreement. So that I am not afraid or feel like it's always going to go wrong or most of the time going to go wrong if I share with you a difference.
In fact, our differences might even make our relationship that much more different. I don't know, more something, right? Like, because it's
fruitful.
Maybe, right? But like there's something that can come from us not being the same human.
Yeah. Expansive.
Okay. The other thought I'm having though about why your partner may be doing this. There's one more thought I have about why your partner may be doing this.
Aside from them.
They want what they want when they want it. And if that's the case, okay, so you cannot get what you want whenever you want it and be in relationship.
Can you tell my 10-year-old son that, please?
Yes. And we should all tell our 10-year-old sons that.
Auntie Jules says.
Auntie Jules says, you cannot. I'm going to say it again.
Because that is his quote. He literally said that when he was 4 years old. I just want what I want when I want it. And I was like, oh, isn't that just life? Like, oh, poor baby.
Totally. And so it's not possible to get what I want all the time whenever I want it and be in a relationship at the same time, because I'm always going to negotiate across this difference, right? And so it's not possible for one person to always get what they want. It's not possible for the other person to always get what they want. So I was just thinking about like we could even go in a meta conversation, not in the moment, meta conversation, go back to that moment where I said the thing about leaving the party early, whatever it was. I said the thing about leaving the party early. And you like had this big flood of feeling, right? Is there any way I could have said that would have actually been okay?
Mm.
Or was it the fact that I disagreed with you that wasn't okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now it's not even
Mm.
about like make the correction. It's about help me learn together with you.
Mhm.
Is it the fact that there was disagreement, or was it behavioral? Was it something that I did?
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. So if I need to deliver it differently, I can mostly accommodate that. Not all the way, but
Or I could try to learn
But I
what
could
you mean.
learn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I could learn, and we negotiate it, and we could co-create something that's going to work for both of us, where I can disagree with you in a way that feels safer.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that feels safer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We can figure that out. But if it's actually never okay to disagree with you, then we got some grief work to do, baby. And you know me,
That's right.
people, I love grief. I love it. I love it. I'm the grief lady. So if that's the case, then we've got to have some of the grief work around all those micro moments. I call them micro grief moments, where you're going to feel disappointment right now.
Mhm. Well, and some of this I just want to add too, even though we don't have the partner, like the
Mhm.
partner's not the one that called,
Mhm.
there is work that the partner can do on this too. Like my own work was to, and I'm still in the process of doing it, but to really work on him disagreeing with me does not mean my voice has no value.
Mhm.
And we had a conversation where I literally sat at the table, like with Dan Siegel's hand brain model. And I was like rubbing my top fingers to remind myself to stay in that part of my brain. And I was somehow able to focus, because as we're talking and disagreeing, I was literally rubbing my fingers going, my voice has value, my voice has value, my voice has value. And I didn't get heightened. Like we could have the disagreement, and it didn't mean my voice has no value, and we didn't fight over it. And we had this disagreement like 4 times. It was on a stupid celebrity. I don't know if we've talked about that. I won't go down that rabbit hole right now. We literally fought over a celebrity, like heated fight over a celebrity. Thank you, Jules, because it was funny. And my clients laughed about this for like 6 months. Because then I come back into session with my clients as the example, and I was like, so we fought over this guy again. And they were like, oh my God. Like, and what happened this time? Because each time I was like, I can do it this time. I can stay calm. Nope, can't do it. I can do it this time. I can stay calm. Nope, can't do it. And then when I finally rubbed my fingers and went, my voice has value, my voice has value, we didn't fight. And we finally resolved it.
Brilliant.
So like you can do this work on your own too.
Can I break this down with you for a minute?
Yeah, I was going to say Rebecca's going to slow me down.
Yeah,
because I rev.
because what I heard in there that was so brilliant is that when you rubbed your fingers and you said my voice has value, right? I heard you say that. I didn't hear something else in there. What I made up when I heard you say that is that you didn't escalate after that.
Correct. It helped me do much less nuance, but the check-in that Jules was doing, like my heart's beating, blah, blah, blah. It was a different kind of that. And yeah, it kept me, I don't like the word, but regulated.
So it kept you regulated. And so when it kept you regulated, then
I have another way for you to say it. In good relationship with yourself.
It kept you in good relationship.
I like that.
It kept you in connectfulness. And so
plug.
Yes.
Right.
If you don't listen to Rebecca's other podcast, you should. It's called Connectfulness, and it is amazing. I'm just plug.
That was awesome.
Anyway.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes. In good relationship with yourself, or as Rebecca would say, connectfulness.
We should use that term more.
Well,
that was awesome.
Connectfulness is more complicated. It's actually in good relationship with yourself and in good relationship with your partner, or whomever you're in relationship with. It's both at the same time.
Yeah.
So it kept you in that state.
It did.
And then you related with him differently.
Yes.
You didn't relate to him from a one down shame position.
Correct. Yes. From a place of equality.
Right.
Like we're equal and we have a difference of opinion.
So we both matter, and there's value to both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That feels like a really good place to land.
Let's do it.
All right, y'all.
Love each other best you can.
Bye-bye.
That wraps up this week's episode. Join us again next week for another Why Does My Partner?
We hope that you continue to listen wherever you get your audio, and that you'll follow the show.
To go deeper, join us at our boot camp. You'll find the next date at whydoesmypartner.com.
Did you know you could ask us your question?
Your questions are relational gold.
Go to whydoesmypartner.com to either write in or record your question for a future episode.